Let's say that the TV show Shameless was just starting now in 2025, and it was set in the current culture where today's world is full of crypto schemes, influencer culture, AI powered scams, and TikTok fame. What would the Gallaghers be up to? And for video purposes, let's not assume that the show starts with everybody as young as they were on the original show. Let's say Debbie is of age, Liam has just graduated high school, maybe college. So we're going to set the rules for that. We got to start with Frank Gallagher because you can't really talk about Shameless without talking about Frank Gallagher. 2025 sees Frank as a con artist still. Obviously, that is the core. That is his personality. But instead, he is the ultimate AI con artist. He's discovered ChatGPT. So instead of scamming people face to face, right, he's using AI. Maybe he is using ChatGPT to come up with, phone scripts to call people and ask them about their car's extended warranty, about helping them out with their tax debt relief. All of these robocalls that we get nonstop. But let's be honest, Frank is a very smart man. He's a vile man, but he's very smart. And when he discovers ChatGPT, he comes up with a very convincing sort of script that ChatGPT spits out and allows him to make robocalls, or whatever you want to call it, to scam people out of money. The big thing that Frank then gets into are these NFTs, these non-fungible tokens, because let's be honest, very few people really understand what these are, myself included. But we know, as great of a con man as Frank is, he can sell really anything to anybody. And so he comes up with Frank Coin. We've heard of Dogecoin. Now we have Frank Coin. Again, not really sure who really understands what Dogecoin is. No one's going to understand what Frank Coin is, but Frank is going to sell fear. Especially in 2025, today's age is full of conspiracy theories and doomsday preparation people. And so Frank is going to scare people into getting them to believe that the banking system is about to crash. And so you better focus and put all of your money into some sort of digital currency. So he comes up with Frank Coin, this NFT. So once the banks crash, your money's going to be safe because you have invested in Frank Coin and the NFTs that he has created. Now, 100% a scam. And of course, just as he did in the original show, he is going to scam so many people, and some people are going to be the wrong people, and he's going to have to weasel his way out of it, faking a death, trying to move away, trying to escape from people. That's still going to be Frank, but now it's just going to be digitalized. He's going to be using ChatGPT, but he's still going to be scamming people, and he's still going to be screwing over his family members for selfish reasons. And then he's got to come up with an elaborate scheme to get out of the original scheme that he created. And that is Frank in 2025. In the original show, Fiona was the queen of the hustle, doing whatever she had to do to make ends meet to provide for her family. We saw her, she was cleaning hotel rooms, she was a waitress, she was a bartender, I think she was cleaning like waste management. She did any job she could possibly do to try and make ends meet. And in 2025, that's no different. She's just using a different avenue for that. She has adapted to the TikTok lifestyle, and she is queen of TikTok. On the one hand, she's creating content about real estate, where she's showing all the different properties that she's interested in possibly buying, or maybe that she already has. And, she's flipping them herself and creating content related to that to try to get views and likes and subscribes and brand deals and all that. She's obsessed with views and likes on TikTok and all other social media forms as well. I could also see her doing things like, you see those content creators that own vending machines, own laundromats, and make content showing, how much money they make, them emptying out the change thing from those vending machines, restocking and all that. She's just got so many things so many different things going on, and we could probably see her self-sabotage by taking on too much, more than she could handle, and then things start to go south. Then she pulls herself up, and then this cycle repeats just like she did in the original Shameless show. I think you have to assume that Lip Gallagher is probably going to thrive in this current society with ChatGPT, with cryptocurrency. He's probably created some sort of algorithm that allows him to, con people over. Probably targets like, the rich snobs, kind of the Robin Hood, steal from the rich, give to the poor type of mentality, but still stuff that's either borderline illegal or definitely is illegal. I could see Lip creating these bots they're intended to, whenever there's a new product that drops that's hard to get, like the new PlayStation or the new Nintendo Switch or something like that. Lip's bot has, the algorithm is to, whenever they drop anywhere, the bots will buy up a whole bunch of these products and then resell them, mark them up and sell them at a much higher price. And that's how he's making his money, really trying to rip off these big corporations like Amazon and Walmart and Best Buy and all of that. And of course, right, he's going to self-sabotage, kind of like Fiona, in a way where he's just going to try and do too much, or he's going to piss off the wrong person, and then he's going to have to backtrack and find his way out of it, try to stay out of jail. But he's such a genius that it's a good thing, but then it's also a bad thing. But either way, I could see him doing fantastic things, as he is a genius, and he will thrive in the current crypto market. For the next, we're going to group Ian and Mickey together, and while these two characters definitely deserve their own segment, you can't really talk about one without the other. I mean, we all know that's Galavich, okay? So Ian and Mickey, they're on the internet. They are thriving in the podcast world. They have one of the most successful podcasts on the internet, right? It's surrounding and involving and all about the LGBTQ community. For the most part, however, right, Mickey's probably talking about guns and just doing all types of diabolical shit, talking about hunting and drugs, and maybe he's talking about prostitution and being a pimp. He's talking about his previous history and then talking about, just all things Mickey. So, the LGBTQ community is torn because obviously they love the couple and they love Ian and they love the message that Ian's probably putting out to the world, but they're probably thrown off a little bit with Mickey and his antics. So there's that give and take dichotomy that you have with Ian and Mickey, but nonetheless, they're on YouTube, they're on Spotify, they're wherever you subscribe to get your podcasts, is the Ian and Mickey Galavich podcast. Debbie, who in my opinion is the most like Frank, is 100% using the internet and using AI to scam people out of money. She's the one that's attacking like vulnerable senior citizens, scamming them out of their pensions and their retirement funds, that we hear these horror stories that happens. That's what Debbie is doing. She's also probably creating OnlyFans content, probably selling feet pics, doing whatever she can to try and become as successful and famous and wealthy as possible. She's also probably all over these dating websites and these dating apps, Tinder, Grindr, whatever you want to call them, or whichever ones you use. She's probably got so many different accounts, so many fake names. She's probably catfishing everybody all the way to the bank as she is just cashing in so much money, and it's all on screwing over people. If you can't tell, I don't like Debbie one bit. Carl Gallagher is a streamer. He's on Twitch, he's on YouTube, he's on TikTok, he's on Kick. Doesn't matter where. He's playing Call of Duty and just trolling the shit out of his opponents as he kills them. His kill cam mics are just diabolical. He's just shit talking so many different people. He's probably not very good at the video games that he's playing, but that doesn't stop him from just absolutely trolling. He also probably is like role playing like GTA. He's probably acting as White Boy Carl in this GTA role play. I could also see him doing like IRL streams where he's out trying to catch a predator that we see, like these people that we see that are just out there trying to catch all these child predators and things like that. 100% could see Carl doing something like that. But then he flips it up And then he starts recording police brutality and going after the police, kind of flip-flopping. If you remember on the show, he was once a wannabe gangbanger. I guess he was a gangbanger. He was a drug dealer, and then he turned cop. We could see him doing the exact same thing, right? On the one hand, he's streaming, trying to be a vigilante, going after criminals and, trying to bring justice to them. And then I could also see him recording against police brutality and like trying to be a part of that movement. But that's White Boy Carl Gallagher. He's streaming video games, he's role-playing GTA, and he's either trying to catch a predator or he's trying to blame police brutality. And that's what Carl's doing. Liam probably went to online high school and completed that early, probably graduated at like 15 or 16. And then instead of going to college, he created his own like tech startup company, ended up selling that to like Google or Tesla or somebody like that, made close to $1 billion, sold all of his, sold all of his companies, took that money, and now he's traveling the world, really trying to find who he is, who he wants to be, and really distancing himself from the Gallagher family. But he's out there. He's not scheming anybody, but at the same time, he's got all the money in the world. And he's traveling to all these different places and just living his life. Just a teen prodigy that made it out of the south side of Chicago. That's 100% what Liam's doing. Let's not forget Kevin and Veronica, these two old school legends reinventing themselves for the digital age. Gone are the days of them just serving drinks at the Alibi, and now they're hosting epic virtual events and creating spaces where digital and real life vibes collide. I could also see them really getting into like the Airbnb space where they buy up a whole bunch of property and are working on booking those properties and selling out their Airbnb properties. As this digital revolution reshapes how we connect, Kevin and V remind us that community transcends physical spaces. They've turned a familiar, iconic venue into a trend-setting digital hotspot, melding the tradition with innovation. The next time you log in, don't miss out on an experience of the Alibi 2.0 or the party never ends. So if you've ever been on like a Zoom call or a Teams meeting and you're having this virtual happy hour and things like that, Kevin and V have taken this to the next level. They've reached out to businesses, to organizations, and they want to host your virtual party. And that is what they are doing. So having the show in 2025 would definitely change the show, but at the same time, it would remain the same because the characters at their core would remain true to themselves. Frank is still a piece of garbage, and he's selfish and he's narcissistic and he's only out for himself and he doesn't really care about his kids, but he's still scamming people. He's just pulling off more elaborate schemes with AI and everything. He's able to take his schemes globally without having to leave wherever he's staying, whether it's with the Gallaghers, whether it's with Sheila, right? Whether he gets kicked off to Mexico, to Canada, doesn't matter. He's still able to figure out something. Because he's a very smart man, but he's also a very vile man. And so that is what Shameless in 2025 would be like.